J.C. Snead died at 84 from cancer complications in his hometown of Hot Springs, Virginia. But his most tragic death wasn't physical. It was the death of a dream that haunted him for decades. The dream of winning a major championship that slipped through his fingers time and time again. And what they lied about? His true character on the golf course that millions misunderstood. Jesse Carlisle Snead was born into golf royalty on that October day. His uncle was Sam Snead, one of the greatest golfers who ever lived and a legend of the sport. But JC didn't want to live in anyone's shadow or coast on his family name. He wanted to make his own mark on the sport and prove his worth independently. What happened next would define a career filled with incredible highs and heartbreaking lows that would resonate for generations. Born on October 14th, 1940, in Hot Springs, Virginia, J.C. Snead had golf in his blood through his family connection. But here's what most people don't know about his early athletic journey. He didn't start with golf. This future PGA Tour star was a gifted all-around athlete who earned all-state honors in 3 different sports during his high school years. Instead of following his famous uncle into golf immediately, J.C. chose baseball first as his professional pursuit and athletic focus. He spent nearly 4 years playing in the Washington Senators farm system before fully committing to golf as his career path. This wasn't about rebellion against his family legacy or avoiding golf entirely out of fear. It was about proving himself on his own terms, establishing his own athletic identity away from the Snead name that already meant greatness and excellence in golf circles worldwide. When JC finally turned professional in golf in 1964, joining the PGA Tour in 1968, he quickly demonstrated he belonged among the elite players of his generation. His first significant tour victory came at the 1971 Tucson Open Invitational. He called it the biggest thrill of his career. That same successful year, he also won the Doral Eastern Open Invitational, establishing himself as a consistent winner on tour. By the end of his impressive professional career, JC had accumulated 8 PGA Tour victories and over $7 million in career earnings. He made 3 prestigious U.S. Ryder Cup teams in 1971, 1973, and 1975, representing his country with distinction. In his memorable 1971 Ryder Cup debut, he went completely undefeated, even pairing successfully with the legendary Jack Nicklaus in important matches. But success came with a heavy price. There was one monumental achievement that would forever escape his determined grasp. J.C. Snead's biggest career disappointment was that he never won a major championship on the PGA Tour throughout his entire professional career. This became the defining narrative of his professional life and golfing legacy. The pain of coming so close so many times would follow him for decades and shape how golf fans remembered his contributions to the sport. The most heartbreaking moment came at the 1973 Masters tournament at Augusta National. Snead held the lead going into the crucial final round. Victory was within reach. The coveted green jacket seemed destined for his shoulders. Then came the infamous 12th hole, famously known as Golden Bell, where dreams go to die. Snead had noticed his ball losing compression on the previous hole. He planned to switch to a new ball at the 12th tee, but under the immense pressure of leading the Masters, with thousands watching and millions more on television, he lost his train of thought. He hit the old ball straight into the water hazard. Years later, Snead revealed he agonized over this moment for the rest of his career. It wasn't just a bad shot, it was a mental lapse that cost him the green jacket. Tommy Aaron won by a single stroke. One shot, one moment of lost focus, one dream shattered in the waters of Augusta National. 5 years later, at the 1978 U.S. Open Championship, Snead again came agonizingly close to victory, tying for second place in another major disappointment. He had proven he could compete at the highest level consistently against the world's best players. He just couldn't get over the finish line when it mattered most in golf's biggest tournaments. The psychological toll was enormous and crushing. Every near miss added more weight to his shoulders and doubt to his mind. Speaking of major championships, if you want to watch all the biggest golf tournaments live, you need Fubo. Fubo gives you access to every major championship, PGA Tour event, and comprehensive golf coverage you could want. Don't miss another dramatic final round like the ones that define J.C. Snead's career. Try FUBO today with the link in the description. But there was another controversial side to J.C. Snead's story that the public got completely wrong for decades. His on-course demeanor made him controversial throughout his entire career on tour. Fans and fellow golfers often called him mean or impatient, especially with amateur golfers who played in Pro-Am events. Stories spread widely about him having no time for hacks and being difficult with his caddies during tournaments. A Golf Digest article in 1984 even investigated whether he was the least popular tour pro. The reputation stuck like glue. People saw him as a hard ass who didn't care about anyone else on the course. His intense focus was misinterpreted as arrogance or meanness. But JC himself told a completely different story. He said he was just quiet and liked to keep to himself. He called his reputation for being difficult undeserved. This wasn't about being mean to other players. It was about intense focus and a naturally reserved personality being misunderstood. One incident perfectly shows his true character under pressure. During the 1971 Doral Eastern Open, on the crucial 72nd hole with the tournament on the line, a fan in the gallery audibly yelled, "Miss it," as Snead prepared his approach shot. Snead was visibly angry about the taunt, but instead of letting emotion destroy his round, he regrouped and refocused. He hit his ball to within 13 feet of the cup and ultimately secured the tournament victory with a par. This moment revealed the real JC Snead, not someone who collapsed under pressure, but a fierce competitor who could channel anger into laser focus. Not someone who was easily rattled by distractions, but a golfer with remarkable mental toughness. The story could have ended with disappointment and missed opportunities, decades of near misses at major championships, a reputation as golf's grumpiest competitor, dreams that never came true despite years of trying. But JC Snead's story had one more chapter. In 1995, at age 55, Snead finally got his long-awaited major championship breakthrough moment. Not on the PGA Tour, but on the Champions Tour at the prestigious Ford Senior Players Championship. And he didn't just win in ordinary fashion against regular competition. He defeated Jack Nicklaus, arguably the greatest golfer of all time, in a dramatic sudden death playoff that captivated golf fans everywhere. Snead secured the title with a birdie on the first extra hole. After decades of heartbreak and disappointment, he finally had his major championship moment. The victory was even sweeter because it came against Nicklaus, the same legendary player he had partnered with in his undefeated Ryder Cup debut. This win also served as redemption for a previous disappointment. In 1992, Snead had lost a lead at the Ford Senior Players Championship, double bogeying the 18th hole on the final day. 3 years later, he was holding the winner's trophy. The contrast was absolutely perfect. His biggest disappointment was never winning a PGA Tour major championship. His greatest triumph was defeating a legend to win a Champions Tour major. It created a powerful narrative of perseverance and eventual fulfillment. JC Snead passed away on April 25th, 2025, in the same town where he was born 8 decades earlier. His career totaled 16 professional victories across multiple tours worldwide. He was inducted into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame in 2003 and the Virginia Golf Hall of Fame. But his real legacy isn't found in the numbers or statistics. It's in the story of a man who refused to live in anyone's shadow, who fought through decades of near misses and heartbreak, and who finally found redemption when many thought it was too late. The lie wasn't about his death or his career disappointments. The lie was about who he really was as a person. Not the mean, difficult competitor that people thought they knew, but a quiet, intensely focused athlete who simply wanted to prove himself on his own terms. JC Snead's golfing life was a compelling tapestry of remarkable consistency, devastating heartbreak, and ultimate triumph. His inspiring story reminds us that sometimes the most meaningful victories come after the longest waits, and sometimes being misunderstood is just the price of being truly focused on achieving your dreams.